Bring the noise. Fuck that shit. Welcome back. You know where you are. You know what this is, and you know who we are. This is Welcome to the City Podcast.
Do they?
I don't even. Dude, this is episode 213. So people already know who we are. You come back to listening. They know who we are. We're the hosts. I'm Tony, and you are.
Roman.
All right. So,
But
but
shouldn't we take the Stan Lee approach to comics? You know,
like
every
every
comic is
comic,
someone's first comic. So like,
true,
so
true.
shouldn't we like open like we usually do? But then again,
I don't
you
know.
you somehow managed to like fuck it up somehow. Even though
I usually do.
we've done this where you've been
You know
like
what
the
it is though?
host more
You know
than
what
like
it is because
150 times.
each time I try to bring like some kind of energy to it, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't. My brain can't communicate with my mouth to see the and express the way I want to express. Mostly because I can't speak, so
It's
makes it
not,
hard.
it's not that you can't speak. It's that I don't know. Okay? Do you think before you speak, or is it just like bleh?
Of course, who doesn't think about without speaking?
I don't know.
Period. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like right there, I was thinking, and it sounded like all mumbled and shit and jumbled, and I was probably wrong.
well, then you have to move your mouth a lot more.
Uh, can't. When I was young, I had a stroke. My face is kind of slow.
You motherfucker. There's people that have strokes and are still able to like talk, and
Oh, I'm talking. It just comes out a little
but I don't know. You can't just fucking like use that. Of course, I'm not even gonna fucking try to do this. Like, you can't use that excuse when you're gonna be fucking like, of course I can. I can fucking use whatever I want. I'm the master of
weird.
excuses.
No. You can't use that excuse. Okay, I'll scratch it off. For this, can't use my face falling when I was little for the reason I can't speak right. There you go. It's off the books. I can't use that one no more.
But it's
Plus,
also,
I'm really fat, and sometimes overweight people speak slower, like in the cartoons, right?
bitch. Not everybody's fucking fat out. We're like, hey, I got
well,
diabetes.
well, not everybody, but I am. Because I'm fat, I speak all mumbled and jumbled and slow,
I mean,
which sucks. Because I realized that my dreams of becoming a voice actor died the moment I created the podcast, which is funny because I created the podcast to get the knowledge, the experience,
mhm.
and find a way to find my voice and shit like that.
Well, the thing is that like I
And
think
you always told me you gotta speak with your diaphragm, and and I was trying making weird voices, but they never work out because A, I'm not funny, and B, I can't talk.
well, it's more that like I think people just think, oh, uh, I have like an interesting voice, or like I can do interesting voices, so I think I can be a voice actor, and it's a little more than that. Like, you actually have to be an actor. So
Oh
like,
no, I went in. My mentality was totally selfish. My mentality is like, how cool would it be
mhm,
to go? That's that dude who voices that guy, or he is that guy. You
mhm.
know how to me, Anakin, not Anakin, Luke Skywalker's Joker,
Oh yeah, Mark
Mark
Hamill.
Hamill.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is the Joker voice.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to be something like that. Be like, oh man, I don't know. I don't care, like a C character,
Well,
like fucking, I don't know,
the
Jared.
thing is that like it's with you being like, oh, like you started from a selfish. I think that's what like acting is. You know what I mean? Like, you want attention, so you do something, and like, of course, like, we want attention because we're doing this podcast, right? There's no other reason for us to do this podcast.
I thought
Um,
it was a cool idea, but
uh,
yes,
but again, it's like we thought we were funny enough or like
special.
interesting
Or
enough.
special. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. To like
I mean,
get people to listen to us, which some people have. Again, our friends and family, we love you. Thank you for listening. But like,
they always said, we could have created him. They're interesting. Our show was interesting enough to begin the podcast, and we had knowledge and all that shit.
Yeah. Well,
But here's the thing.
mm,
Here's the big thing. The more we did it, the less confident I became in having this voice. And I
well,
started,
okay. Is it because everybody fucking picked on you for your fucking?
oh no. That has nothing to do with it. I mean,
Okay.
like when you're around us, that's what we do. It's who we are. We're shit talkers,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just that doesn't bother. It never bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to face reality and be like, yeah, like if I don't know how many times you listen to the podcast, but when I used to edit it, the podcast, I had to hear it overs and overs and overs, to make those cuts that I wanted. So I heard myself. I was like, dude, my voice does not sound the way I make
It
myself
does.
sound in
It
my
does
head.
in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my head, I'll be like, yeah, I could be some kind of comic character, cartoon character, a
Mm-hmm.
villain, right? I had that kind of self monologuing voice in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started editing the podcast, I realized I can't communicate. I can't talk right.
Mm-hmm.
My shit sounds slurred. It sounds slow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes my dyslexia kicks in. I have shit backwards,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a low, high pitched voice, which makes no sense.
I
So I
mean,
was like,
it's just a mid range voice. It's all it is. Just
yeah,
like, but I have the same thing as you, where like I think in my head my voice sounds a little more deeper than I think it does. But when I do hear it back, it's just like, oh, I'm a little more like in the mid register than I think. Like I don't have like a really bassy voice or anything like that. I just have a kind of mid range, like whatever voice.
and then when I used to try the voices and the sounds,
Hmm.
it just became annoying more than entertaining. And I was like, okay, if I would ever get to like voice something,
Hmm.
it would be something niche. And then schooling and being a voice actor, it takes a lot.
Hmm.
There's a lot you have to do for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So.
the math wasn't adding up again. I was like, well, if I can't do this and that, like I could, like we already talked how I have a weird hard time reading shit.
Yeah.
Cause you imagine me reading the script and then have to read it 2 3 times,
Hmm.
and then I have problems speaking, so it would have to take a couple of takes. And I'm already old. I'm 34. He's
I
35,
mean, it's not old,
right?
really.
Yeah,
Um,
to get into the industry,
no,
to get
not at
into
all. Not
anything.
like I am a firm believer in um, that it's never too late to try something new. Like even if
Uh,
like the thing is like it's just well how badly do you want it? Like do you want to succeed or do you just want to try? If you just want to try,
I
then
just
it doesn't matter. But if you want to
I,
succeed, then it's going to take a lot more effort. You're going to
the
have to
numbers
put
just
that.
don't. Yeah, that's the problem. The numbers never fucking add up.
Oh,
My
what?
brain.
By okay, explain that a little bit. 'Cause I
Okay,
don't get that.
think of it. The numbers is the years of school,
Okay.
the 1,000+ hours before you can even be called yourself a professional.
Okay.
The money it takes to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
The getting your work out there.
Mm-hmm.
The before you getting known, the
Mm-hmm.
job opportunities.
Okay.
The grind of any profession.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't add up to what I want to give.
But
Because
it.
I start thinking like, oh, if I had money to go to school and do this, I'd rather have that money to do something else,
But it's.
like
It,
fix the wall in my house, or fix the car.
well, I mean, it all
And it's
starts
all
with
time.
passion though. Like the whole thing is that like it's
Oh,
people
yes, yes.
people
It starts
have
with
like a
passion.
people have an innate like bullshit meter in them that's like oh that guy's fucking fake like or like his intentions are fake or what have you. So the thing is that like you have to just like want to do it. Like it has to be something that you actually like believe in. Or
Oh, it starts like that. But like I told you,
mhm.
I already named like 5 excuses that dwindles my passion down. It doesn't. I don't get the. It doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Once I lose passion for something, it doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much I think I want it, just all those doubts overtake it and be like, it's not worth it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, me
I
editing
get
the
that.
podcast and me doing the podcast every week and finding how hard it is to communicate or finding how hard to come up with talking points each week and I can't express, like I said, I hear myself in some way in my head and it doesn't come out that way. And it's gonna be a lot of work before I can even do that. So it doesn't seem worth it. Like in my head, the passion got killed, so I don't go after it anymore.
Okay.
Even though I can say it was a dream and shit, but I was like, it's over. That's what. See, this is why I like the City podcast because there's no expectations. It's just us communicating. It's just us having the regular conversation.
Yeah.
We don't plan anything. We don't have topics. We don't have.
We did at one point, and just kind of fucking
most of the time now it's just repetitive shit of us just getting our emotions out there. It's more of a therapy than a profession.
Yeah, and the thing is that I always thought, getting back to like how we did the podcast, like we had like a kind of a loose format of what we wanted, you know what I mean, at the very beginning of the podcast, and then as we got into it, I just found like the most fun I would have on the podcast is when it was just like we didn't have anything to really talk about, and then find something to talk about in like just whatever happened through the week, or just a thought would go astray, and that's where it would lead us. And I always like that better than just like, this is what this is and this is what this is. Like, it works for certain things. Like when we had a comic book corner, we knew that we had to like, all right, we have to cover the news, we got to cover these comics, and these are our picks of the week. So like we kind of had a format, you know what I mean? And it fits for that show. But for City, it's literally just us. It's always just been us talking. That was the reason why we even started the podcast in the first place. Is we were just, how many times would we be at fucking Denny's at 1:00 in the morning and just like talk shit for 2 hours?
Yeah. And we have enough knowledge of certain things that we can communicate on what's going on. Like the stuff. Say we could talk about the stuff that E3 announced, or TVs we should watch, or shows we watch. Right? We always do. We always rate the movies we've seen, and we try to tell people, hey man, if you're into this, this would be pretty cool to get into. This is pretty cool to watch, right? The only thing about not having a format, and to me, I don't know if it's true, but to me, not having a format, we get lost in the abyss of what that is all podcasts.
Yeah.
And there's so many podcasts. I think Joe Rogan said since he started, about 2 million podcasts have come out, 1 million point something.
Probably
since
more.
He started, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
without a format, you get lost, and without a format, it becomes hard to advertise.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more fun this way.
Yeah.
But then again, like we get lost. Like for a while, I thought this could have been something awesome. I was like, oh, at least like in San Antonio, we could have been known, right? Around the nerds, the geeks, and shit, like But we don't do enough to make it a nerdy podcast each time. Like I personally stopped playing so many shit and stopped buying so many shit, and I stopped. Once you stop buying toys and cars, you kind of just glimpse through news and information. You're like, okay, whatever. Instead of going to hunting like we used to, like comics. Like when we're doing the comic show, each day I used to go and check all the comic websites, caught up with all the news, what writers do, what's going on, right? I was well informed. Even though I wasn't all, like, I couldn't tell you what Jeff Lemire wrote or what Tom King wrote, but I knew who they were and what was going on with them at the moment of the day. So I knew all that. I had information. Now, I don't even know what comics come out anymore. And it sucks because I wish I would have stayed with a little bit of that knowledge or the little bit of drive because lately I've been trying to sell my comics. I've been trying to unload all my nerd collections.
Yeah.
And toys is simple. There's a couple sites you go. They're like, this is the price
Mhm.
you pay for this toy, and this is how much you can get, and you do the math in your head, right?
Mhm.
Toys are easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
Fucking comics.
Yeah.
Comics are. It's such a fucking pain because it's just not longer characters. You have to know special issues. You have to know what's trending. You have to know writers. You have to know years.
Mhm.
You know how many fucking runs of Avengers are, and you have to know what year, what series you have,
Yeah.
what writer, and do you have that one valuable comic out of like 100 that
Mhm.
year? It's only like one is gonna give you money.
Yeah.
The rest is toilet paper,
Yeah.
and it's so frustrating because the hassle. Like, if you would calculate
Mhm.
how much money I spent on this comic collection I have,
Mhm.
it would be in the thousands, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
A little bit higher. Like at least one of my long boxes or two, each of them are worth a couple hundred, and I have about 8 boxes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, it's a couple thousand. I could, I was before I started, pricing shit. I was like, yeah, I'm at least you coming in as a flipper. You're like at least a third of that would be fucking great. And then you start doing your homework and you realize that none of that shit has value.
Mhm.
Unless you have that one special issue, none of it's valuable.
Yeah.
And then now the depression and the dexterity kicks in.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck it, I just don't want to do it because now you have to go deal with selling it.
Mhm.
You have to go haggle with the stores, or you have to put them up on site, and everybody's gonna be like, that's too much. I don't want to pay no $2 for this old comic.
Mhm.
And so now you have to. Now it's just like maybe being a nerd wasn't a good thing because I don't have anything of value no more.
Well, I mean,
So all that takes my drive away from anything, dude. I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm depressed, like super depressed. Like
yeah.
I've always been depressed,
Mhm.
but this year I've been like super depressed where nothing brings me joy,
Mhm.
and me selling my shit as makes me think, oh man, you wasted so much of your fucking life in this,
Mhm.
and what you get is nothing, nothing.
Yeah.
Because I can't even remember the good memories of what this brought me. You're
Yeah.
like, oh man, it was cool with your homies and your friends. It's like, no, because the funnest times we had with our friends was 2 o'clock in the morning at Denny's
Mhm.
talking shit
Yeah.
that had nothing to do with the nerd stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah,
But I mean, like that.
my drive
The
has been
the
wet blanket on.
I get that. I mean, I'm dealing with that, right now. Um, I've been in a funk for the last couple of days, and it's weird because Friday I was at work and I was having a really good day. Like at work, it was going by quick. I had like things to do, different things to do, so I was just doing that. Getting everything rounded up, and then um, maybe an hour after work, I just like whatever good energy was sustaining me just fucking dried up, and I've been on a kind of in a depressive episode, I guess, um, where I'm just like, what the like, and again, it's like one of your things where it's like, what the fuck am I doing, like with my life? Like, what do I have to show for my life? And I mean, it's one of those things where I went to the comic book shop. It was fine. I picked up some comics. I was happy to see that I actually picked. There was a graphic novel that I didn't know was coming out, and it kind of like um, it was kind of a little breath of fresh air. Like, oh shit, like something that I did not know was coming out, but I had always asked questions about. Finally, did come out. So I was like, cool. I'll be buying that, I guess. And it was the Earth One Batman Volume 3. Um, Jeff Johns wrote the first two, and he always said that there was a third, that he wanted to do more afterwards, but you know I guess with everything that happened, him moving positions and all this other shit, like that got pushed into the wayside. And I just kind of just looking at the wall, of new stuff, and I saw it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick this up because I want to read it. And I will say that the 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 bright spots in my days have actually been reading. Like I've been reading. Oh, the books are on my bed somewhere over there. But I've been reading, like a Warhammer novel, and I've been also listening to a different one on my phone. The one on my phone, I'm not as interested in. I don't know what it is. I thought like, oh, it's like at first I thought it was just like, oh, it's just part of the episode. Like you're just not feeling this, whatever. Like it's just you're depressed. This isn't really like feeding into anything. Um, but when I just sat down and started reading, I got like a little bit of a boost. Like I was like, you know what? Like this is actually a really good story, and I started thinking about it. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Like I wish I could figure out what it was that set me off. And the only thing that I can say that this is like bringing me to is maybe I do need therapy. Like as much as like this is a therapy to like talk it out with you and like get whatever's in my head out. I think I think I need professional help. I think it's
Think so?
I think
You
it's
know what it
time.
sounds to me? It sounds to me that you're in old man age. The only time your day is good is when you're in motion. Like you got shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like while you were working and you're moving, you're like, yeah, right. Keeps your mind busy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't let you fucking have a minute to think about you. You're thinking about the
Mm-hmm.
job. You're thinking about going.
Having a purpose.
But the moment you stop
Mm-hmm.
the motion, the moment you stop, you have time to think. That's when you start going, is shit worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Am I in the right? Where am I? Am I supposed to be doing this? Am I in the right space? Am I? You start doing everything, like think about everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I should be doing this, and then you shouldn't do it, but you kind of do it organically, and it happens. You compare yourself to others, and you're around your age.
Mm-hmm.
People on social media or just people around you, like they're
Yeah.
30 something, they're like all married with kids,
Yeah, and I'm a fucking loser.
higher up,
Yeah.
they're higher pay they're in the professional state,
Mm-hmm.
they get so much money, and you can see them with the car and their house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're here and you're like, huh, like, am I doing something wrong? Did I do something
Clearly.
wrong?
Clearly I'm doing
Right?
something wrong.
And you don't want to, but it happens, right?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't care less what someone else has,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you have a nice house, nice car, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
good for you. I don't. It doesn't affect me that way.
Mm-hmm.
But in those depressive, thoughts and things, like maybe I'm supposed to have more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and especially me. I was thinking about going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, dude, could you imagine? You're gonna be close to 40 before you even get your degree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you should have had this in your mid 20s. Then all those thoughts kind of kick in. You know what I mean? Kind of the other side of the coin is that I thought I was better at things than what the reality is.
Mm-hmm.
Like card games.
Yeah.
I used to think I was fucking best. I was like, yeah, I could beat anybody. I could compete with anybody. At least in our local scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like fighting games is one thing. I was like, oh, I'm alright.
Mm-hmm.
I can't compete with the top players, but at least I have fun, or I might surprise them here and there with a cheap win.
Mm-hmm.
But card games and the nerd stuff, dude, I thought I was at least the top 10%
Mm-hmm.
of things. And then I tried streaming. I tried doing the things that professionals do.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even compete. I was like, oh, I wasn't as good as I thought it was. And buying shit, I thought, oh, like comics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, oh, I have a good eye for shit. Like I knew what's gonna resell and stuff like that. Same thing with toys.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I didn't. Like I know me and you used to have this conversation in Comic Corner that variants didn't matter. It
Mm-hmm.
was people reading like the original version and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm pricing out things, it turns out versions do matter. Like I'm gonna have the comic that that's I don't know $5, but if I would have bought that one variant that I wanted to buy
Mm-hmm.
or I thought it was mine, I would have had a $300 comic kind of deal like that.
But
Same
again,
thing with
like
like toys and stuff.
I had always told you that like you can't like the thing about comics specifically because I don't know anything about toys to be honest with you besides fucking
Hmm.
Warhammer. Um,
Yeah, which those
is
Papalian toys look cool.
yeah, they do. I actually saw them. I stopped over at Aiden World, and they had
Mm.
them out there, and I was like, oh, they actually look pretty nice. I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should take one of like the gray ones and like just
Oh, the one you paint yourself?
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I can paint it differently or do something with it.
Mm.
But I had always told everybody that walked into the comic book shop that I was looking for like, oh, like what's like how do you get into the collecting? And I would always tell them start off with things that you actually like. Don't ever buy things because and not really saying that like you buy whatever you want if you have the means to. But
Usually I have crap taste though.
but the thing
Like
is
a
like
lot of my comics that I personally like
mhm.
are crap comics.
And that's the
That's what
thing. Like
that's what hurt me the most.
yeah.
Knowing like it's cool when someone like in your close circle
Mhm.
tells you you have crap taste,
Mhm.
and there's a difference when the world tells you you have crap
But
taste.
again, like the world like I don't agree with a lot of people that like a lot of these like the I guess like the I guess I'm just like a more I wouldn't say I'm like a veteran, but I'm a seasoned comic book reader, and I understand like variants do matter sometimes, but there's no way to predict that. Like there's no way to predict what the actual story that's going to like click with people and is gonna drive that. And it's the same thing with the variants because like you're saying like oh if I would have just bought this one I would have had a 300. Well, there's no like buy the comic that you like. You can't.
Yeah,
It's the coulda woulda
it,
shoulda. You know what I mean? That it doesn't matter.
depends what kind of collector you want to be. If you're collecting just for the passion and love of characters,
Hmm.
then yeah, buy whatever you like,
Yeah,
right? But if you plan to one day sell your collection, you kind of have to know or
but that's the
kind of
thing is
foresee
like
the future.
I
Like
don't
I,
I
I
don't
didn't think
think
I
you
didn't think
I don't think you should go into the mindset of like one day I'm gonna sell these. Just be like one day I might have to sell these, but don't expect like fucking those $100 fucking comics. Don't expect $1,000 comic because they're just
you know what
it's not. There's no way to do so.
I didn't expect nerdy stuff and geek stuff to be so popular the way it is. Like I like you knew with the superhero heroes
Hmm.
movies it was gonna be a little popular. It's gonna be hard to find Spider-Man shit and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But the whole industry boomed up. And I was like, fuck. And this is the thing though. All this is I was looking for validation that all the stuff I spent my youth in,
Hmm.
it was gonna be worth something.
Hmm.
And lately, all that is crap to me. Like remember we had the conversation when I told you I used to think I was a car guy.
Hmm.
Turns out I'm not a car guy.
Hmm.
Well, fuck. That's starting to be for everything, and it's making me even more depressed.
Well, I
I
mean,
used to be. I used to think I was like a very good nerd.
hmm
Turns out I'm not.
it's but that's the thing is like all of these things are just self-imposed. Like who like why do you it goes back to we care a lot more than we lead on. Because even I am like, oh, I give a fuck about attention. Like I don't want attention, but there's certain things like this podcast shows you that clearly I want attention because I wouldn't be doing it this way if I did. You know what I mean? And it's the
I
same
want
thing. It's the same thing with this shit. It's just like who do you want validation from though? Like you just
it's
want
just
validation
you know
from
I
fucking
want
random ass people?
I want all the time wasted to be worth something. It's not, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
All those fucking years we spend doing this shit.
Hmm.
You want it to have some kind of result, or someone say, you this and that.
Hmm.
That's what I was looking for. Like, I don't know, man. It's hard
But
because even with the podcast stuff,
hmm
like, remember when people be like, "Oh man, you guys are funny and shit."
hmm
That used to be the best feeling.
hmm
But the thing is, like I said, without a format, we're gonna get lost in your basic podcast,
hmm
where people don't even, unless I spend money on production and pouring out the podcast, we're just gonna be stuck where we are,
hmm
like this, some limbo.
hmm
We have the people that do listen and do care and do
hmm
comment, and that is, when they do, that is fucking awesome.
hmm
When we get a reaction out of Pullman, or when we used to get a reaction out of Clarissa and
hmm
Sam, that was the
Congrats,
violation, dude. That, you're right. That
congrats,
was the
Clarissa, by the way, on your kid.
she had her kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, she had her certificate.
yeah. She had
Congratulations.
her baby girl.
If she does listen to this, oh, she had a little girl.
I doubt she's listening. I think she's very concentrated on her family now.
Oh yeah, having kids. So
Okay,
yeah,
but the thing
but
is, like, I
they made it worth
understand.
it. Like they made it worth it. They made the headaches that come with this, the money spent that comes with it,
Yeah.
worth it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It was those little moments. It's those little moments that makes doing anything even greater,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Because at the end of it, you're like, oh, at least someone likes it, right?
Hmm.
But you start doing that for everything in your life, it starts turning dark. You're like, everything was a waste.
Hmm.
Like the toys and the comics, when you realize there is no resale on it,
Hmm.
oh, that's just a waste, dude. Even
Yeah.
if it is a good story, even if it was a good story, you're like, all right, well, what did that get me? And I like reading books and stuff, but sometimes I'd be like, why am I wasting my time reading this book?
Hmm.
I think what I want to do now, and it's gonna be my old man,
Hmm.
is that I want to have to do something with my hands, create something, build something, even though it, it uh it's just this is the result of my hard work. Even though nobody likes it, nobody wants it.
Hmm.
I said I built this in my hands.
Okay.
You could give it away, you could sell it, you could do whatever, but at least you know that your hard work is getting paid off. You understand me? I don't
Yes.
know if it's just I
I
don't know.
I well
Maybe it's been darker than most days,
the
but
the thing is, like, I think me and you are struggling with the same thing right now. It's just like we don't feel like we have a purpose. We thought our purpose was gonna be a little more grand. You know what I mean? And now
probably yeah, it's because we've done so
it's
much.
just coming to terms with like it. This is just life. Like
Yeah.
as much as
Well, I told my brother the other day, I was like, maybe I'm just a depressive kind of guy.
I mean,
This is who I am.
I I think that's been established for a while.
Yeah, but for a while, I didn't think that.
Hmm.
All right, for a while, it wasn't, a self thing. For a while, it was you guys to be like, oh, yeah, you're this and that. Like, even when knew I was wrong, I would have fun arguing my opinions.
Hmm.
Now, when I've told my opinion out, even though
Hmm.
I'm starting to learn to keep my mouth quiet on shit.
Hmm.
But when I do throw out my opinion, the first thing I say is like, I know I'm wrong,
Hmm.
but this, and it used to be like, you know what? Even if I am wrong,
Hmm.
I'll try to. Now I'm just like, okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Do you think that this is like? Do you think this kind of all stems from like us looking at social media too much?
And here's the thing, you want to know?
Hmm.
I don't open social media no more. I used
That's a
to. I used
lie.
to take pictures. No, I don't.
That's that's a
I used
that's
to
a
be like, I
complete
used to
lie
watch.
because you were fucking sending TikToks of fucking yesterday. So,
Which here's the thing though, those TikToks were sent to me like by John and Eric,
uh huh,
and I was like, oh, okay, this shit's funny, and I resend them, right?
uh huh,
But I got tired of fucking sitting there on the app and watching them.
uh huh.
I'm like, this is dumb. So what I do now, I put a lot of music on.
Hmm.
Like every day, I would, I don't know, spend a couple hours on Facebook, Instagram, trying
Okay.
to trying to fucking scope out some kind of talking point for the podcast or to communicate with the homies, saying, oh look at this shirt that came out or this game or try to just have some kind of communication with people on my messenger and everyday life. Try to have some kind of communication with others.
Hmm.
The thing is, I'm learning that it's just better to stay quiet. And when you stay quiet and you
Hmm.
don't need talking points, you don't care what's going on in the world.
Hmm.
Like, believe me, I know there was a shooting in Austin until 5 minutes ago. I would have
That
fucking told you guys, hey man, you guys fucking know that there was no fucking mass shooting in Austin last night.
I didn't even know this until
Um,
you said it.
one of the rock singers passed away, and you know how I am with celebrity deaths. I would have fucking, oh man, can you believe? Fuck, I don't even remember who it is. That's how much I don't care. Um, I know Loki came out until my sister came today, and
Hmm.
she's like, hey man, have you seen Loki? It's like, oh shit, that's out. No, that's cool. Nah, I haven't not seen it
Hmm.
because I haven't been on the TV. Um, fucking, my brother started playing Digimon with people, right? And
Hmm.
he's like, "You want to look at this?" I was like, "Nah, I have no fucking interest in playing a card game. So, no, you do you. Go ahead and have fun. It's just not for me." What else is fucking? Oh, I know that a Monster Hunter game's coming out for the Switch. I thought So all the stuff that I was interested in, I just stopped caring. So I don't look it up. And without me caring, without me having to look this shit up, I'm not on social media no more.
Hmm.
I used to spend a lot of time on TikTok, but those things become repetitive and annoying
Hmm.
because you're like, whatever. I used to watch a lot of YouTube to try to better myself, to try to make this production stuff grow, but I was like, you know what? I'm okay where we are right now. And I kind of wanted this to grow organically, so I'm trying to see what happens.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm like, who sent me a message? I think it was you who sent a message. I didn't get it until hours later because I didn't have my phone on me. Like I leave my phone just playing music, and I'll be like, okay, if I answer a message, it's cool. If I don't, no, well.
Hmm.
I mean, I always said if it's important, they'll make it known.
Yeah.
If it's not important, it doesn't matter. So yeah, mostly I just been there, which sounds really fucking sad. But social media more is not as important as I thought it was.
Hmm.
The nerd stuff I used to like is not important as I thought it was. I just don't know where I'm at. I'm just lost. That's what it is. Midlife crisis. Like you know how depressive people were when the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
Like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
It's now that the world's open up again. I kind of have that kind of blues. It's hard to explain.
I'm finding it very hard to talk to, like, just to people.
People.
Yeah, I am, and the thing is, like,
It's mostly because I don't care. I'm in the boat with you.
I mean,
Like, Oh, before you tell me your
Mm-hmm.
example, let me tell you last my example.
Okay.
And this is what made me super sad. I went to go sell my pop figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
The store offered me a little bit of store credit.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I could get a book I wanted.
Okay.
I shit you not, Roman. I walked that store 5 times. I spent close to an hour trying to find something
Mm-hmm.
to get, and for the love of, I couldn't get anything, dude. Nothing seemed worth it. I had I had a pretty decent amount, and I was like, no, none of this seems fucking worth it.
Okay.
I went, you know how you went to the comic book aisle?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, cool. I want to read that.
Yeah.
Nothing, dude. I was like, if this was 2 years ago, I would have had to pay even for more stuff that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down and I'd be like, oh, I would have bought this and I would have bought that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to have this and I would have loved to have that. But I was like, it's not important anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked nothing up. I was just like, huh? You know what I got? I closed my eyes and I got random shit. I was like, all right. And they're stuck in a corner of my house. I was like, eh. I was like, fuck, dude, that made me really sad because I used to bring me so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
All that shit used to bring me so much fucking joy. And I was like, whatever. And I used to love going to the comic book shop and just talk shit to people. You know what I mean? Not like in a negative thing, but just
Shoot the shit.
communicate, have a conversation. Yeah, shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Because I used to know all the card games. I used to know comics and toys and anime and shit. Now I don't even know what the fuck is out. And all that just makes you self-evaluate. And whew, it's fucking depressing.
I mean, I don't know. I think you.
Need help? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I think you need professional help. And
Been
but
dig.
again, that's all you. No, no one, no one can force you into shit like that.
You know what it is? You know what I honestly think it is? It's the transition. You know how not everybody stays. You know how they say sometimes you gotta put kids' stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how I am. I think that I find that half the stuff we used to spend our money is used to just throwing away money.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that for rainy days
Mm-hmm.
because we all know shit happens. So I'd rather have a little nest egg in case shit ever goes down,
Mm-hmm.
or in case I don't know, fucking take a trip somewhere. I have that
Mm-hmm.
instead of having boxes of toys. I'd rather have a little something saved away.
Mm-hmm.
You know me?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. I honestly think that just like I don't have the passion and love for these toys anymore. So I'm starting to transition,
Mm-hmm.
but in transitioning to that, you realize how sad it is because this stuff used to bring you so much pleasure and joy, and it doesn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I think
that's the thing.
honestly
Is
what
it could in the future again?
mm,
Like, you know, ever the everything's cyclical. It all comes back around again. So like, it's possible that it just could come back around again, just at a different time.
maybe.
Whenever
I,
you feel that you're like that you genuinely miss that. Right now, it's maybe you've been inundated with it for such a long time that now you're just like, I'm kind of done with it. Like, you're sick of it, in
I
one
think
way or another.
most people that transition out of it when they come back into it is because their kids get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they want to show their kids that, oh man, I used to know this.
Mm-hmm.
So you go down a rabbit hole. You're like, oh, I used to read Batman, so you buy all the new Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to communicate or you want to have some kind of bonding moment with your kids. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you show them the stuff you used to have, or you go and rebuy the stuff you used to have to be like, look, this is what I used to read.
Mm-hmm.
You should like just know how it changes.
Mm-hmm.
But being myself, I don't plan on having kids. I don't want kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think kids are a burden. That you when you die, you you leave that burden in the world, depending what age, right? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm personally not planning on having kids.
Okay.
So that whole find a way to redrive it, I don't see it. Man, no, no, no. Like I said, it's been pretty cloudy lately.
Yeah,
Which
I
makes it hard.
I
Like, you
feel
know
you.
how hard it is to plan out a podcast with you and do shit?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I do.
And I
Um,
and I sit here and I'm like, dude, I want this to fucking flourish. I want this. I want people to fucking come and listen and be like, damn, that was at least entertaining
mhm.
or sad or fucking depressive. But I want them to have some kind of fucking emotion when they hear us conversate.
Yeah.
But we don't do shit. That's a god honest truth now is that we don't do shit. I mean, you work all day, and when you
Mhm.
get home, you don't really do much.
No,
And me, I'm
I
me, I don't do much all day, so
for me, I think I'm just stuck in the rut and I'm not taking the chances that I used to.
mm,
For me, because before it was like, you know, hey, we're gonna go here. You want to go? And I'd be like, yes or no. It'd be 50-50. It'd be a fucking toss up, right? Now, like, I feel like my days are just so fucking. They're just so regimented because, like, it's good because I do need some form of like consistency, but I think I have too much consistency because I can break down my full day from Monday through Friday at
it's just
the whole time.
stable.
I think so. I think I crave a little bit of chaos,
Yeah,
because
chaos is entertaining.
it is
Stability, consistency,
because
that's boring, my friend.
look, this is my Monday through Friday. Like, rarely anything kind of breaks it. I wake up at 5 in the morning. Right? I fucking use the restroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, blah blah blah. Have a few cups of coffee, make my lunch for the day. Go. I usually sit down here at my desk and like paint a little something or do a little something. Listen to a podcast or listen to part of a book or something. Music, anything. And uh, then I'll leave somewhere around 6:30 ish. I'll get to work. I'll meditate. I'll just do whatever has to be done at work. I'll get out it, or I'll have my lunch break. I'll eat. I'll be listening to a podcast, something to make me laugh. I'll fall asleep for a little bit. I'll wake up, go back to work, then clock out, then get home, fucking take a shit, work out, and play a game of MOBA, either with Eric or without him. Fucking paint. I'm listening to podcasts or music or something all in between all of that, and then around 8:30 I'll post up my fucking progress, and at 9 I'll just lay in bed reading my book until I fall asleep around 10 or 10:30. Then I do it all over again. That is literally every day from Monday through Friday,
Dude, that
and
is so mundane. You
and
put
and
me asleep.
exactly, and that's just and I'm now coming to the real. I'm realizing a lot of things at this point.
In here.
I'm just realizing, one, I always said like, oh, I don't care what fucking people think, and now I'm starting to think like, oh, you care a lot of what people think, and it bothers you that you care so much. Uh,
Sucks, right? The
so
opinions of others kind
yeah,
of
because
put
like
you in different
because
moods.
thinking about it, like when I was younger, I honestly did not give a fuck how anybody thought of me. I didn't. But now I've grown like I guess I've grown a little more conscious of like how I view other people and like how like oh that I don't want to be that or I don't want to be that. So like I then change it. I change myself to kind of model like I don't want to be that or that. But I do want to be
You got
this and I do want
so
to be
you don't
this.
want to be that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
I got you.
essentially, I was just an asshole when I was a kid. So now that I'm older, I'm just like, well, I don't want to be an asshole. Like it doesn't accomplish anything. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I'm an asshole to y'all, but it's just like I'm not really. I'm just fucking trying to.
It's a thing though that you can't gauge your interaction with friends and family because it's a different setting.
Yeah,
They
but
already know who you are,
yeah,
like who
exactly.
you really are,
Yeah.
right? You're seeking the validation of strangers
Hmm.
because they don't know who you are,
Yeah.
and you don't want their first opinion of you to be, oh man, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Because usually when that happens, they don't give you a chance to get to know you. So you know that because you were either cold
Hmm.
or harsh,
Hmm.
that you're not gonna communicate with them again.
Yeah.
You mold yourself, and that's the most fucked up shit, that you're molding yourself for strangers
Hmm.
because the people that actually know you don't give a fuck what you do or who you are anymore because they know
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and
And it's
I think
fucking
that's a
weird, right?
yeah, I think that's just the thing. Is just like first impressions do matter a lot, and you know, I can get a lot of first impressions. You know what I mean from different people, and I never want to come off as just like, oh, that guy's just an asshole. Like that's the one thing. Like you can think
Well,
what you want of me. Like I really can't control that. The thing I do want to control is that like I don't want to be a dick to anybody. Like, I just
yeah,
don't, because like generally I don't think I'm a dick to anybody. I think everybody kind of has like this impression of me where we make the mean jokes at each other, and they're like, oh, like they're assholes to each other, but it's just what makes us laugh. You know what I mean? Like it's all just
yeah,
the humor that we have together.
yeah,
But
but they're
in
not there when you fucking you offer your shirt to your friends and
yeah,
family, or you
yeah,
offer your last dollar to your friends and family
hmm,
because you know that they might need a little bit more. They don't see that. Not in first impressions.
yeah,
The first the first thing they see is be like, man, fuck you, you're a loser, or
hmm,
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
fucking dumb shit we sell each other.
hmm,
Fucking nerd, or the turtle,
fucking
or
weeb.
all these fucking, yeah, right?
Uh-huh.
They don't get to see, they don't get to see beyond the first impression, and it's fucking weird how much energy we put to get validation of someone that we might not even see again.
Hmm.
Could you fucking imagine this shit, Roman?
Yeah,
All that hard work you put in physical, mental, and the things you say, I don't know, spiritual, whatever, the shit you put out there
hmm,
for people that you have, I don't know, 50% of seeing again. That's
yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah, and
But what that's what drives you though,
yeah,
because it is for that second meeting, that second get together, the second conversation you have with people. That's what you're aiming for, right?
hmm.
Mm, fucking weird. And you know
So,
what sucks though? Like, it's me and you,
hmm,
right? We don't do much. We're mundane people now.
hmm,
Like, my days are taking care of my brother with Down syndrome and my mom's.
hmm,
That is my day, Monday through Sunday. I don't do nothing much. I am a guard dog to my household. I do paperwork for
hmm,
my company. That's about it. And then we have the podcast. And the thing is, we have people that things are happening to them,
hmm,
but because they're doing things are happening to them, they don't make it to the podcast.
hmm.
And that's the stuff that you want for the podcast. It's weird, right? Like, I want to be entertaining, but I'm not entertaining,
Yeah,
and the people that are entertaining can't make it to be entertaining.
yeah,
Like my
could,
brother, my brother,
hmm,
my brother right now is doing things with his future stepson.
hmm,
If everything goes right,
hmm,
so that seems cool. That seems important. That seems like
hmm.
his heart grew a little bit more. He's getting more emotional,
Yeah,
and you want to hear those kind of stories, right?
hmm,
But he's not here to tell it. Look at Mark. Mark's about to fucking go across the country. He's
hmm.
getting ready. His wife is in the middle. I don't want to put out there, but his wife is in the military, so
Yeah,
he has so much stuff that he could like entertain people with, but they're so busy with life they can't make it to talk about life.
hmm.
While the people that do nothing are here talking about life.
Yeah,
That is
and
fucking. That's a headache.
And my whole
That's not good because I go even how depressed shit I am.
mm.
I want this to flourish, but if we have nothing to talk about, it's gonna kind of circle down the drain.
Yeah, but then
It's
there's
fucking
like
me, right?
there's things that we can do. Like I thought
You can put
today.
yourself out there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's just like as much as I enjoy doing this, I don't see it as like I'm putting my shit out there. You know what I mean? Like that, like thoughts and like things like that. We're just talking, even though that's what it is. Like we're putting out whatever we're feeling or like thinking or think about
Camera.
certain things. We're doing it in a podcast. So I'm doing it with a friend. Here's the
Yeah,
and like
this is a conversation me and you would have.
yeah,
Because we had them in the past.
exactly.
Right?
But then like I look on social media, right? And I have a friends on there that like put out every fucking thing that's going on in their life, and I'm kind of like, what what is that? I'm trying to figure out like what does that do for them? Like, is it just like is what we're doing now? You know what I mean? Except they just put it out on the internet and they just fucking don't care about it. And I'm wondering, is that should I be doing that? Like, am I doing something wrong by just like holding in all this like bullshit for a week and then like coming out here and exploding? You know what I mean? Or exploding in fucking quotations, but not really like fucking yelling or anything. But yeah, exactly. I'm just like I'm just like fucking keeping everything inside until like I can talk to y'all about it, whatever that may be.
Yeah, but the thing is though, and here's the other side of things is that I don't want to do things just for the podcast. I don't want to make you go put yourself out there in an uncomfortable situation just so you can have something to talk about.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The thing is that when you start doing things like that, you start questioning: Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for the show? Is this really who Roman is, or is it just for the show? And that's things that goes through my head. It's like, man, I could go get into fucking dumb shit, right? But is that who I am, or is that who I'm pretending to be?
And that's the thing is like I'm just I guess like I'm in the same thing where I'm having like a midlife crisis. I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like I don't know what I am because I think of myself as this one thing, and I don't know if that's true. You know what I mean? Like one thing I do know, like I have a hard time talking to people, right? Like it's just that's just it. But when I'm at work and I'm like conversating with coworkers, like I can like talk, like no one's business. When I'm around you, I can fucking talk like no one's business. But when I'm talking to somebody brand new or like somebody at a store, I can't look at them in the fucking eyes and tell them like, hey, what's yeah, I'm just like fucking like looking like everywhere else. And I'm just like, oh god, what if they fucking look at me? And I think I'm just so
miserable, right?
Which is miserable. Yeah, it's fucking like it's irritating because I don't know why I'm doing that. Like, there's no other reason because like somebody that's at the store, I'm sure is just like, oh yeah, I want to talk to you because I want to make a sale somewhere along the way. Like that's kind of like their whole thing. And my whole thing is like, oh, I'm just not interested. So why am I going to bother talking to anybody? That's the thing about me is that I'm not a very interesting guy, so that's why I don't talk in normal situations. When it's us, I can just whatever. I've known you for so long that I'm we're family at this point, so I just fucking I can talk whatever shit I want to you, and I know you're gonna like give me something back in return, whether that's a laugh, whether that's just fucking a soundboard or whatever.
And here's the thing, though, because we're friends and family, sometimes the silence doesn't bother me. If you just fucking like when we used to smoke, right? If you sit there just smoking, not saying anything, be like, okay, right? That the silence didn't bother me. It's not like the silence with strangers. Like when you don't have nothing to talk about when you're around me, all right, cool, whatever, right?
Mhm.
It's who you are. But that silence with strangers is so much different. Like you start fucking
But
trying to find conversation things.
but like here's the thing
You
is
feel
like
yourself. You're very close to yourself.
I'm so awkward that it's just like I when I talk to y'all, it's whatever fuck. It's literally whatever pops in my head. I ask you like, hey, what the fuck, this, and this. But with a random person, I can't do that, and it's just kind of the way I talk though. Like I can't
But
like if something pops in my head
that's a
where
piece of
I'm
conversation though.
like when I'm like
Random
around
thoughts.
a random person, be like, hey, do you ever think about anti gravity technology? Do you think that when a fucking like something that's anti gravity, when it's completely off, does it stay hovering? Does it fall on the ground? Or like, don't you think? And I can't like that would just freak somebody out, wouldn't it? Like, don't you think? Don't you think somebody would just be like, what's wrong with this dude that he's thinking
No,
about anti grav
I mean
technology?
yes and no because a they might actually have an opinion of that.
Hmm.
Two, they don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And the third is yeah, the big creeped out. He's like, oh, homie, no.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. Is just like okay, two things I don't ever want people to think about me, which inevitably they probably will, no matter what I do. And I'll probably prove it the more and more you know me. One, asshole, and two, like creepy. I don't ever want to come off as creepy to anybody. Like I don't want to be like, hey, what's going on?
But maybe that's who you are.
Maybe
Maybe you should embrace it.
maybe I'm just a fucking creeper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if people didn't know you had a podcast, they would never
Uh-huh.
guess you're in a couple podcasts. That
Yeah.
you've done this for a couple of years already. That you've been
Mhm.
on multiple shows.
Mhm.
That you know you have a hundred of episodes down, on your already in your history.
Yeah.
If someone new would be like, say they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, who is that?" It's like, "Oh, that's Roman." It's like he seems very quiet. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why, because he has like 5 podcast shows."
I don't know
He's
about
like,
that.
"Really?"
Not anymore.
He's that, and you show him on YouTube. He's
Mhm.
like, "Look, he's done all these shows, and he has all this stuff where he's in front of the camera talking to people." They were like, "Oh, I never thought him to be that way because he's so quiet."
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Eh?
Like I that's the thing is like I don't think I'll ever be that. I don't think I'd be like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like I'm never gonna be that forward because I again like I think this all just stems from being fucking low self esteem, like depressed, where it's just like I'm not worth talking to. Like you can do a lot. You can talk to a lot more interesting people than just me. Like
So really, that's your first opinion. He's like, "Why are you talking to me? What's wrong with you?"
exactly. Like my, I guess my opinion of people is just like, what's wrong with you that you're talking to me? Because I'm just like,
Exactly.
I'm, I'm terrible at interactions. But
Which I'm the opposite. I used to think I was someone cool to talk to.
mhm,
Like I generally had enough general knowledge of everything
mhm,
that I'd be like, I could have a conversation with someone. I used to have the salesman's tongue
mhm,
or the silver tongue,
mhm.
but now I can't even fucking. I wouldn't be able to sell anything right now. Like I don't have that thrive anymore. I don't have that that little bit of extra you need to be a salesman. I don't think I can do it no more. But I used to think I used to. I'd be like, yeah, I could sell anything to anyone,
Maybe it's the,
or I could have a conversation with anybody about anything.
mhm.
But self doubt has beaten that out of me.
maybe you just got to go back to the fake until you make it.
Ah, but is that okay? That
My
comes down to the
my
question.
whole thing
The
is
question
that
is that who I want to be? That's where I am right now. It's like, oh, is this that fake it till you make it?
mhm,
Do I want to be that person that makes it? Do
mhm,
like the voice acting and all that shit? Is
mhm,
that who I really want to be?
mhm.
I don't think I do. You know, not or not, I would have passion and there for it, right?
Yeah, like
Complicated world.
a, a, a perfect thing of today was, I was going to different comic book shops and like different, not comic book shops, hobby shops. Because I was like, oh, you know what? Let me see if there's like a paint that kind of like drives me to do something different. You know what I mean? Like, uh,
You're looking
with
for your muse.
yeah, exactly. I was just like, I don't want to paint. What maybe there's a color out there, or maybe there's like a product out there that'll make me like, oh, I want to do that, so let me do that. Because the whole thing is, I've been doing like painting, like I've been on that streak for over a year, and now I'm just kind of like, fuck. Now I got to continue because for myself, you know what I mean? Like you've done it for a year, like let's see how far you can
That's the
take it.
thing, though. I think you fucked up by putting yourself a finish line.
Mm-hmm.
You reach the finish line, now you're like, I can't take a break, right?
Exactly,
Or
exactly,
do I
yeah.
have to continue? You should
So
never, you should never put yourself
I
a
never,
finish
yeah,
line,
I,
boy.
I never should have. But then again, there's just times I don't fucking want to do anything. I just force myself to do 30 minutes of it. And
Yeah.
I was able to like fuck with something new today, and I liked the way it came out. So I was like, all right, cool. I like that. But then there's certain things like I was saying like because I've been telling myself like I don't have a lot of like gym shorts, and I've been thinking like, well, I should get back to the actual gym, not just like working out at home. But then I realized like, oh, I have no real good shorts to go to the gym because all of mine have like ridiculous amounts of paint and
So,
holes in them, like a lot of holes. So,
so
well, that's the thing. Is just like as much as like I say like, oh, I don't give a fuck how I look. I kind of do. I don't want to go in something that has holes in it. You know what I mean? Like
why not though?
no
It's a
matter where
gym.
I, but no matter where I go, because that's just the way I was raised. Like
True, true.
the
And
way
is
I
a
was
lot of stuff that
raised.
got beat. Is a lot of stuff that got beat instilled in us.
Yeah, like my
It,
mom
but
did
it
not
creeps up.
my mom did not let me go out with something that wasn't like fucking at least if it wasn't ironed. Like she was like, look, you're not gonna iron shit. I get that. Throw it in the fucking dryer for a little bit. Like get the wrinkles out a little bit. I'm like okay,
Yeah,
or
it needs
like
to look presentable.
yeah, exactly. Like your shoes, like make sure they're okay shoes. Um, so
Oh
like
yeah, the holy shoes.
yeah, exactly. Like just wear whatever you want. That's fine. Just don't fucking go out with holes.
But look,
Where
you have an education.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So like that's my whole thing is like I have
The
certain
gym,
even the gym, like even the
it's
gym
weird
when I
because the
would
gym is full
go,
of people with like clothes with holes and they're half naked and shit.
yeah, but
And like
it's
you're there to sweat and you're there to
but
work out them.
that's for them. Like for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
different. You know what I mean? Because again, like as a kid, that was being into me. Like don't fucking go out with like holy shit. No matter where you go, no matter where you go, it doesn't matter. Like just like you don't go out unless you fucking take a shower. You just
Mm-hmm.
don't. Like you don't go fucking anywhere smelling like ass. You go and
True,
fucking take a
true,
shower real quick. So
true,
and
true.
that's the thing. Like oh, you don't go anywhere without brushing your teeth. Like fucking brush your
Mm-hmm,
teeth.
mm-hmm.
No, even if you fucking brush your teeth 5 minutes ago, you were just drinking coffee, fucking brush your teeth again because you're going out. So it's that thing that's just like drilled into me from like being a kid. So when I look at my shorts, I'm like, okay, in the house, fine, fucking wear whatever you want. But I'm like, if I'm going to like the gym or something, I should probably just have like something without holes. Like if it has paint, I
Some,
mean,
something
fucking
decent.
everything I have has paint on it.
Because you're a painter.
Because I'm a painter. Because I paint all these fucking stupid minis. So, but it should at least be like not ratty. So and I was literally at Ross, right? I was outside Ross. I was on my phone, and I was just looking at something right before I went in. And I was just looking, and then I put on like some music, and I started just like grooving to the music. I had a coffee, so I was just drinking my coffee, and then I was just like, I don't want to go into Ross. Like I don't. There's too many fucking people at Ross, and I was just like, I don't want. I just don't want to go. And I didn't. I didn't. I just. And the thing is, I was just like, oh, there's a Barnes and Nobles. There's not a lot of people in Barnes and Nobles. There's not a lot of people fucking read books or want to read books. So I'll just go there. And I went there and like I was looking to see if there was any like book that caught my eye. There wasn't. But that's the thing is like now it's just if there's too many people, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to deal with any of that. And
Why
but
don't you do online shopping? Don't you already know a company that your shit already fits?
no, because the gym shorts I never bought online. I guess I could. It doesn't really matter.
I mean,
But
even though whatever store you bought them from, I'm pretty sure they have an online store now.
I actually had the only place that I've bought shorts was at Ross. Just because, yeah, because they're cheap. Like I don't need I don't need expensive ones. Even though I don't even know what the brand is. Like I know that
like
the
you know the brand. I'm pretty sure there's a store out there.
these that I'm wearing right now specifically are Nike, and these because these were hand me downs. Like my brother was like, "Hey, look, these don't fit me anymore, so you can have them." I was like, "Okay."
You can get Nike shorts anywhere online. They're usually around the same size.
And that's the thing. It's just like I just have to like but the thing is like I just have to break that and be like, look, there's gotta be fucking people there. Like they're 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 in their own fucking world, and so are you. So just fucking go in there, what you actually need, and just get out. And I guess I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow because I just don't. But but I was thinking like, oh, it's kind of a nice day. It's like a hot day, but with the AC blasting, it's fine. So like I was just driving around, in the car, having like a fine time. And I was like, man, there was a thought. I was like, I was wearing a Buc-ee's shirt, and I was like, I could go to Buc-ee's. I can get some fucking jerky and just fucking like waste some time out there.
I've been wanting to go to Buc-ee's too.
And let's go right now. Fucking right after we fucking finish this podcast. Let's do it.
Man.
Hey, bro, I need fucking. I need to start saying yes to things, and then fucking regretting it 5 minutes later. I gotta do it, but I gotta say yes. But I think that's one of the things I have to start doing is just like
saying
yes, and just going, just to break the habit. You know what I mean? Because I have such like a regimented day. I have such a same day. Like maybe I should break that up with something. Sucks that like the thing that my friends want to do is just like, hey, you want to go eat? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to a restaurant. Like I would want to do something else. And that's the thing is like, what do I do? Like I do the same fucking things, kind of.
Like what's that else you want to do? You
like know? what like when I went to go to the batting cages with John and Julie, it was fun, and it was just like go. And I didn't want to go to the batting cages. It's just like they were just like, look, you're already out. Like it's right there. Let's just go. And I was like, all right, fine. So I went. Exactly. I got shamed into it. But when I went there, I ended up having fun. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning, kind of like, oh, I don't want to be here. Fucking swing bat. I fucking can't hit anything. And then you get that first crack. You're like, oh, all right. Let's see. And you get a few more cracks, and it becomes fun. And the thing is, I just have this kind of thing where it's just like, well, how is that going to be like bowl? If somebody asks me to bowl, I'm not going. I just no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't like bowling. Bowling, fuck. I suck at bowling. I have no interest in bowling. I'm done with it. But if somebody says like, "Hey, you want to go play pool?" and I'm like, maybe. And one of the things that's been happening more and more is people have been saying like, "Hey, we're gonna go here after work. You want to go?" And
the after work game.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, "Hey, man, we're gonna go to fucking Hooters." I'm like, "Why?" Like, there's nothing. There's no
Hooters.
There's nothing there. And then I was like, "Well, I guess there's titties. I guess that's fine."
Titties are always good.
But then it's just like, well, they're not fucking out. They're fucking stealing a shirt. They're fucking like, my degenerate mind feels like I'll just watch porn. It doesn't matter. So
I think that's the problem right there.
Probably. I think I also have a porn addiction that I gotta stop. But like the thing is, like I think I have to just start saying yes to things, and just like me, I'm like, you know what? And then wherever the wind takes me, it takes me. You know what I mean? But I think I have to start living. I guess I just feel like I'm not living.
Uh,
So one of the things that I am happy about is like John's going to be starting up the Mournival League for Warhammer. Like you can play a whole bunch of different games. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I think I'm
yep,
gonna
yep.
have to start like saying like, hey guys, if you need a game, let me know, and I can meet you here. Blah blah blah, and like start breaking that up and getting to like know other people and like starting to shake hands and all that other shit.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll
mean,
see, but I definitely do want
yeah,
to go to Bucky's.
you have to put yourself out there if you want that kind of change.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
guess the whole thing is just like I feel like I'm not really living. I feel like
Okay.
a fucking mummy. You know what I mean? Just fucking. I
Just
just
going double the DVD.
yeah, I'm just in a fucking sarcophagus, just like waiting, and like, all right, something will happen. Somebody's gonna open this bitch up, but no one's gonna open the fucking. I gotta kick open that sarcophagus.
Yeah, if you're not gonna go out, then you know no one gonna open it for you.
Yeah,
So
you just gotta fucking do it
you gotta do,
yourself.
you gotta do it yourself. You're exactly fucking
What's
right.
the mummy from Darkstalkers? The guy that would kick out and be all
And it kind of,
Anacondas. There you go. Fuck, I gotta be
and it
that
kind
dude.
of, you gotta
Anacondas.
be. It was funny. I don't know if you ever saw the cartoons or read the comics.
Mm-mm. I was
I would enjoy him.
I literally played Darkstalkers a few times too. Like I wasn't like a super huge fan of Darkstalkers. The
Because that was one of my favorite series.
oh, I'll learn it and I'll
No, it's
beat you
coming
at.
back. They're never coming back. It's never coming back.
And
So I'm sure.
that's another thing is like I think the fighting game community, the San Antonio fighting game community, was putting out a post and they showed like all these fucking monitors. I don't know where it was. I want to say it was Rick Rick's.
Romancha?
Oh, was it?
Romanca or Rick Ricks too? They showed the lineup.
But it's Rick Rick's moved, didn't it? Or is it
Yeah, it's right
still?
next to game on Bandera.
You see, and that's what they were talking about. They were like, "Hey, we just fucking have these setups now," and I was kind of like, "I know I suck, but it was fun going. Like, when I did go every not every week, but like every other week, I'd say, just to go and like kind of just like meet people, kind of like see where like the holes in my game kind of were." And just kind of seeing like when I saw that, I was like, man, that brought back like a really good feeling of me. Like I think I can do
But
it
never
again.
coming through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty
So
sure you can. The thing is that when it comes down to it, you block yourself from doing it. You're
yeah,
like, maybe I don't need to go and play video games, or you think that your time is worth something else. I think that's your biggest problem. I think you put so much value in time that you should be doing something like progressive or
hmm
creative,
hmm
and you stop doing shit. Like you're like, oh, okay, I could be watching a TV show, but I'd rather do something, that with
hmm
my time instead of doing that.
Oh, but
You, you do
I
that a lot with a lot of things.
yes I do. But I will say that I in this Wednesday, I think Wednesday, um, I went and saw. I watched on I think my iPad, wrestling, and I was like, oh shit, like. And then through watching that wrestling, I figured out that there was a pay per view happening tomorrow. I guess when this goes up, I'll be watching wrestling because my buddy Brian was like, "Hey, we're actually going to be watching that day. So if you want to come over, cool." And he says if you want to go over earlier, because I didn't know until like Monday that E3 is going to be happening next week. So they're starting to like roll out certain things. And I'll be like, oh, I haven't fucking listened to anything gaming related in a very long time
There's a
because
couple of announcements for E3 today. I didn't catch them all.
yeah, I saw. He was like, "Did you see Elden Ring?" And I was like, "No." He showed me the trailer. It looks cool. I still won't play it because I'm fucking suck at Souls
I know
games.
they released a new
Um,
Battlefield trailer too.
yeah, the Battlefield thing, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then I started thinking about the physics. I was like, "That's impossible. He'd fucking like rip his arms off with gravity." You know what I mean? I just started thinking like, "This fucking it's totally unrealistic. And I go back to painting my fucking.
I was playing this shit so real.
I go back to painting this bike that's driven by like an 8-foot fucking superhuman. So I'm just like, that's not fucking real. And I go back to fucking doing this. It makes no sense. But it's just one of those things where I again, this is why I like this podcast, because even if fucking nobody finds this entertaining, it's at least something that like we're able to figure out something. And I'm able to figure out I'm just a fucking idiot and I just start saying yes to things.
You do. That you do, my boy.
Hey.
But it's harder than you think. It's easy to say, harder to do.
I think you just gotta fucking do it like fucking a bullet. You just click it and you fucking blow your brains out with that yes.
Right?
You just fucking every one of those yes is just another fucking bullet in the chamber where you just fucking boom and just see what happens.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You see, this is why I can't say that to people. They're like, "What's wrong with you?"
That boy needs help. Yeah, I do, man.
I actually do. If you know a good psychiatrist, let me know. But I honestly I went in and you can attest to this. Before this podcast, I was feeling like shit. Now I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, well, usually happens when you air things out, and you know all that stuff that's been bothering you comes out.
Yeah, I think that's another fucking
it
thing.
takes a weight off your shoulders. I mean, that's a good thing of having a podcast, even though it doesn't get many listeners. And you know that
it's probably good that it doesn't. Because we can say whatever the fuck we want. Have you ever thought about that? Have you thought about like, oh, if this like were to become something, and we were able to like get sponsorships and blah blah blah, like we'd kind of have to play by a certain rule that I don't know if we're ready for. Like we wouldn't be able to say half the shit that we did without people like being like, we're never fucking listening to this shit again or whatever.
Isn't that the thing though? That if it becomes anything, it's because we do say whatever we want.
I would like for people that listen to this, that genuinely listen to this and like hear about us and want to continue this, is because of like the kind of humor that we have, and it not causing a problem in the future, because like there's all these like things that you see of like these people that put on this face of like, hey, how's it going, blah blah blah, and then you find out that they're total assholes and they've said like so much fucking fucked up shit, like actual fucked up shit, that or they've done things that are fucked up, and it's now coming up and they're like, oh shit, like now they're ruined or they're canceled or whatever. But
all the fake people in the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And now like there's actual people that are just like, yeah, but we've kind of always been this way. It doesn't really matter anymore. And those people are those people are completely fine. Like so, I would assume that that's what I would want us to do. But
being successful shouldn't change who we are. I mean, that's the thing about. That's the thoughts I have. Like I would put money into it. You know how you buy followers and shit, like you promote it, and you're like, if you spend, I don't know, $50 on YouTube and $100 on Facebook, eventually start getting a small following. You pay for your followers, but all that just seems fake, dude. I want people that listen because they want to, not because I paid it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always
because they could value the dumb shit we say, or the therapy sessions we have, or the nerd crap we put out, or my wrong opinions, and you guys making fun of my wrong opinions. I want them to like that for what it is, not other than like,
yeah. I've always discouraged you about like, don't fucking pay anybody to like this, or just not to like it, but like don't pay something to just like have it out to people. It's just like whoever finds it, and if they enjoy it, hopefully they enjoy it and comment.
Here's the thing: that being lost in the abyss of fucking shit of a podcast, people don't get a chance to listen to it.
Fuck it. For promotions. I guess no one's in here.
There's no chance. No. Who knows? But talking about listeners, how about we get to some comments?
Oh, we have some comments. And if you want to do the same, you can leave them down below. Or you can send us an email at citypod88@gmail.com. Eric, citypod88@gmail.com. Thanks, Eric. You're always there whenever we need you. All right,
Yeah,
so we have some comments. Now,
we do.
YouTube says there's 5. I only see 4. I guess someone said something that they shouldn't have. But either
All that
way,
red tape.
it's time to keep it regs with the prune. All right. So,
I think that's totally broke.
yeah, it's fucking completely fucked. Oh my god, I've been having like massive shits too. I'll explain that later. But all right. So his first comment: I'm there and here. I'm there and here for Tony Messiah Hernandez.
Hell yeah. So I love this prune. Because you're a real G.
Okay.
He understands my opinions.
Yeah, he doesn't respect him though. All right. Next comment. Always study to better control your destiny. However, prom is not dumb.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, you know how I name the episodes is just something that makes me laugh. This last episode, I was like, "What are we talking about?" I honestly forgot what we were talking about. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that's in reference to, Prune. I'm sorry, but I loves you. His next comment, um, it's a crying laughing emoji. I'm playing my PS1 right now.
Oh man, how he's a retro man.
Oh yeah, how he was doing that. I actually have my Super Nintendo Classic like right over there. And I was thinking I'm gonna hook that bad boy up to my TV and play Star Fox 2 that apparently was never released. Um, all right, his last comment. Education is all about effort. You get what you put in. I failed at SAC 4 times before I took it seriously. I'm doing great at Tamusa. I guess that's an acronym for.
A&M? I think it's an A&M?
Is it Texas at A&M USA?
Yeah. The San Antonio, Texas A&M.
Oh,
I think
okay,
that's what it
gotcha,
is.
gotcha, 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 gotcha.
Yeah.
Texas A&M University of San Antonio. Got it. All right, I'm
There
fucking
you go.
I'm being stupid. Uh, but I'm doing great at Temusa because I'm trying. I'm glad, and that's the thing. Yeah, I think that's another
That's the
thing.
big part. Like with
Yeah, that's what
education,
we were
going to school.
talking about. We were talking about how like I half-assed everything through that fucking that first year of the electrician school, and figure like, oh, I don't think, but I know I'm gonna have to actually try these coming years now because now it's starting to get more serious. So and I did.
See, and that's why I'm worried about going back to school.
Mhm,
Because if I go back to school, I want to make sure I want to give it 110% so it can be worth the cost.
mhm,
I don't want to go back to school just because I'm in a midlife crisis or I feel depressed or
mhm,
I want to change and not like what I'm going to do.
mhm,
No, I have to find something that has passion and drive so I
mhm.
can give it 100%. So I won't half-ass it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because Pro Man is right. Education, you get out of it as much as whatever you put into it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't care, then education don't care either.
Mhm.
If you fail, that's your fault.
Yeah, and I
You know what I
think
mean?
I think last week I was just like, is this really what I want to do? And I was struggling with that. I think earlier this week too. It's just like, is this what I really want to do? Like for the rest of my life. But then I thought like, well, you're not really doing what you're gonna be doing because right now, again, I'm just material bitch, and it's gonna be like that until whenever this job is done. So I'm kind of like, well, you haven't actually had a taste of what like being an electrician is going to be. Like you've had this one thing that you've been doing for over a year, and kind of like, I guess I'll figure out if I really enjoy it, on the next job site when I'm actually doing a lot of the electrician work and applying things, from school and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
the only negative to that kind of programming, that
mhm.
kind of work.
Yeah,
It takes forever for you to get a taste of the real job,
yeah,
so
hmm
you don't know if you like it or not.
yeah,
And like
exactly.
I said,
Yeah,
it sucks that you give yourself 2, 3 years of this, and
hmm
you end up realizing you don't like it, then you have to start from scratch somewhere else. And
and
there goes all that time that you wasted.
I think at that point, like I'm figuring out like I don't know what I'm gonna do after, like, if something were to happen and I, you know, have to quit or I get dropped out of this program, for what have you, like, what am I gonna do
What's the
after?
next step?
What am I gonna do? Like, what am I actually gonna do? And then it started.
Uh,
It started to like think like, well, do something that I want to do. And I guess I'm just kind of like, well, I'm doing something that I want to do, like I'm painting and all this shit. But like, I don't know if I want to paint for other people. So I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. Like, I just don't know at that point. But it is something that I've thought of, like, oh, maybe I should quit the program and do something that I'm actually passionate about. But I kind of think, like, am I really passionate about this? Because like
I
I
tell
I
you,
enjoy doing this, but
for each question you ask yourself, fucking seven more pop out,
yeah, yeah, that's just kind
and
of,
and none of them get answered, and that's fucking frustrating.
yeah, but I don't know. Is there people that just like, is there people? I just want to know if like I want to know what it feels like to be normal. Like I
Then again, you had to go with the whole question: what is normal?
yeah, but I'm just like, but I know I'm not normal. I know that like I have a lot of fucking bullshit wrong with me. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of like,
but what do you
okay,
gauge humanity on?
but like if no one deals with this level of anxiety, and I know because I've asked other people if they deal with this level of anxiety, and they don't. Like they just don't. And I'm constantly like at high alert and anxiety. Like I may not show it. I may be just like kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, but on the inside, I'm fucking like wanting to rip off my fucking skin. Like,
Dude, I'm the same fucking way.
but that's the thing is like I know that's not normal because I've asked. Like I know that other people don't feel that way. So clearly,
Yeah,
I'm not normal. So
yeah.
what like I just want to know what it feels like. I just want to know like what it feels like, and it'd be like, do I want to feel that way? Because
Oh,
it was another thing. It's just like um, I was asking myself on Friday, and this could have like already put the seed in it, where I was just like, I'm having a good day. Okay, what's gonna go wrong? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
but
get you.
again, that's not normal. Like I don't think that's normal. I don't think
Oh, it
you
is.
should be waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So like,
it's just,
I don't
dude.
know.
I'm the same way. I wake up and be like, oh, how cool would it have been, not to feel this way, not to think this way,
Mm-hmm.
not to be the way I am, and just a fucking bitch, dude. Because then you start thinking, oh, why is this wrong with me? And it just gets down to a fucking bad place of rabbit hole, and
I
it's just, it's just, sometimes I wake up and you're like, oh, do I have to really get up? Do I, or fucking be like, oh, everything hurts, or you're driving and you're like, fucking trying to find every exit, and you're like, oh, am I gonna make it? And
don't
what
know. Mm-hmm.
happens if something goes wrong? There's so much shit crosses your
I
fucking,
fucking
and
hate it.
it's exhausting, dude. It's like me that I have driving anxiety. By the time I get to the fucking location, I'm already exhausted. You're like, it shouldn't be like this, but it is, right? And it's just, I don't know. It's tiring. I think that's the most frustrating about the thing is that it's fucking tiring.
Yeah,
But
and
On that note, should we leave that? Should we leave the podcast on that sad note?
that's not a sad note. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, just accepting that, like, okay, clearly there's something wrong. How do you? And I guess it's just kind of like, do you plan to fix it, or do you plan to fucking just stay with it until it fucking kills you? Like,
Like I said, I've said it before. I've tried psychologists. I tried counseling. I tried medicine.
mm,
And I've tried dealing with it myself. I've tried letting time happen. I got used to shit. So and now I'm just like I'm just tired. So we're taking it day by day now.
yeah, I think
I
that's
mean,
all.
again,
I guess that's all we can do, right? Fucking live every day as it's gonna. And that's the thing. I fucking you hear that fucking saying, live every day like it's your last. And it's like, I'm not fucking living. I'm just fucking like
you're just
I'm just
you're just there.
I'm just getting fat on a chair. That's all I'm doing. Like it just doesn't fucking like I gotta stop doing this. Um, I gotta find that balance. You know what I mean? I'm too much on one side than the other. I gotta find a balance.
True.
But
On that note,
that was keeping it regs with the prune.
oh,
All right.
and then on that note, this has been the saddest of episodes, episode 213 of the City Podcast. We have your before we leave, thank you for the comments.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you,
Thank you very much for the comments. But we are your hosts. I'm Tony, and I'm here with
Roman. And like we say at the end of every episode, bye.
Bye.